Oh, you have to increase a lot more you have to increase. The Mundaka Shruti, which says, Parikshya Lokan, yeah, now things are somewhat better, yeah, okay. Parikshya Lokan, thank you ma'am. Karmachitan, Brahmano Nirvedamayat, Nastyakrutah Krutena. There is a Vakya, very well known Vakya. And Acharya has quoted that Vakya. It is an important sentence. You have to examine Pariksha. Iksha means looking at. Pari-iksha. You look at a thing in all possible ways. You examine it from all angles. Like Ratna Pariksha, they say. When you examine a gemstone, they do that, you know. That is also one Shastra. Everything is a Shastra in this world. And the name of that Shastra is Gemology. Like biology, zoology. Similarly, Gemology. So he will examine the gem. And he will determine whether it is a good one or not so good or bad or whatever. So that is called in Sanskrit Ratna Pariksha. Similarly, you have to examine the world. Parikshya Lokan. Lokaha Manushyaha. You look at the people. There is a way of looking at the people. You should not look at people from a center. Namely, I am this such and such person. Now I am looking at these people. That means, as an egoic person, you tend to examine others. People do that. Should not be done. So, in doing so, you try to judge the people. They are this way, that way. And try to find their weaknesses, the loopholes in their life. Like that, for that purpose, looking at people is bad. You should not do that. So, you examine people not to judge them, not to categorize them as good or bad, not from a center, that egoic center, not from that. You just observe people. To understand human behavior, human existence, to understand life, you examine people. And it is what is called an observation without the observer. So you have to do that. So when you examine people, you can see they are caught in the web of samsara. You can see that. Generally, youngsters are busy with life and they are bubbling with a lot of energy, and therefore you cannot know much from observing the youngsters. But you look at the elders who have retired, etc., they are very unhappy people. And you can see their careworn faces. They carry the burden of history on their head. So their historic self walking around, like that they are. And are highly disturbed emotionally. They have seen the life and they have picked up a lot of sorrow and fear from the world, from the life. That is how they are. And you look at the rich people. Generally, rich people cover their unhappiness with outward trappings, like good cars, good dresses, and good jewelry, and good Ray-Ban glasses, this and that. So with such things, they cover up their unhappiness. But deep within, they are very unhappy people and very insecure people. If they open their heart to you, you will understand how unhappy they were. We used to have a gentleman, I am not saying against any person, what I saw in the newspapers I am saying. A person, he was called King of Good Times. That was the name given to him, King of Good Times. And somebody said to him, you seem to be the King of Good Times. You know what he said? I am not the King of Good Times, I am the King of Bad Times. That is what he said. How much sorrow has piled up in that heart, you can imagine. Now, I am not supporting him or I am not condemning him. The law takes its own course. In India, law takes its own course over decades and multiple decades. It takes its own course. Elsewhere it takes its own course in months and years. Here it takes its own course in decades and multiple decades, whenever. So, but still, the law takes its own course. Or Bhagavan, there is a higher law. In India, we don't believe in the local laws much. We believe in a higher law. That will take its own course. Therefore, there is so much unhappiness in the world. And this point was discussed, and it is concluded like that. To make a long story short, why people are caught? What is the reason for the bondage of people? So the Mahatmas say they are caught in the net of karma. This is called karma bandha. So the karma means the actions that you perform, they accumulate. And that accumulation of the karma binds people. What is the karma? Every activity that you perform with self-interest and self-concern. Means out of a desire you perform an action, or out of fear something is going to happen to you. To avoid that, you have to perform an action. People are like that. They imagine that something is going to happen and therefore they perform rituals, etc. That is one kind of action. You see, at one time, if you remember, there was a thing called a Skylab. It was put in space beyond the gravity of Earth by America. And later, the Skylab, it lost its orbit, and then it lost its altitude, and then it is descending towards the Earth, and it will fall somewhere. And they have calculated, and in India, in Andhra Pradesh, at that time it was a combined Andhra Pradesh, somebody speculated that it will fall on Medak district. Somewhere in Medak district it will fall. Americans were telling it won't fall on land, it will fall in the ocean. We will see to it that it will fall in the ocean. Nobody need worry about it. But some of these people are there in India. They call themselves with some variety of names. And so they have speculated it will fall in Medak district. And the entire Medak district, people have vacated the district and went away to different people around. Finally, it fell in Pacific Ocean. Can you believe it? Like that, something will fall upon you, some unhappiness is going to happen to you, some calamity will fall upon me. Like that, people are afraid. They are afraid. And therefore, to avoid that fear, to avoid the impending calamity, they perform actions. They have some very nice names for all this. So, actions performed out of self-concern are called Shanti Karma, and actions performed out of self-interest are called Pushti Karma. So, Shanti Rastu, Pushti Rastu, Tushti Rastu, that kind of a thing it is. And therefore, all these actions which are performed with self-interest and self-concern, they get accumulated. And they play havoc with people's lives. So people are in the bondage of karma. This is the conclusion that you get by observing people. Parikshya lokan. That is one conclusion. Karma chitan. So the sukha dukkha, the relentless cycle of sukha and dukkha, pleasure, pain, that is the cycle. The cycle will never stop. It will be going on and on and on. You say, I am fed up with this sukha dukkha cycle, but it won't stop. And you have to go through the roller coaster. No, you cannot relent. That kind of a cycle it is. And people are caught in the cycle of pleasure and pain. So that is what you observe. Pleasure is the result of good karma and pain is the result of bad karma. Both bind people. Good karma is the golden shackles and bad karma is the iron shackles. Otherwise both bind. It is like they say in Saudi Arabia, when a royal, a person of the prince, a person of the royal house commits a crime and he has to be killed by beheading, they use a golden sword. Whereas for ordinary people, to behead, there is a square where the heads are taken out. The name of this square is a chop square. So there the head will be chopped off. And in that square, if the person belongs to the royal family, his head will be taken out with a golden sword. And if he belongs to the common public, his head will be taken out with a steel sword. That is the difference. So similarly, the karma bandha, the pleasure and pain, both bind people. This is the observation, number one. Number two, you see, karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat. You see, when you examine the effort, karma, and its outcome, so loka is the phala. Karmachitan lokan. Pariksha lokan karmachitan. I am examining the verse in two different ways. One is over, the other. Karmachitan lokan. Chita is you accomplished, something you accomplished. Like there are bricks, like a heap, and take a brick after brick and put them in the proper way and put some cement in between. And therefore a wall is now put in place. That is called Chita. Now the wall is Chita. It is a participle, past participle. A wall is built by effort. Similarly, you build various outcomes. Loka is the phala. You build pleasures, comforts, or punya phala, sukha for yourself, and by performing various rituals. In ritual, they use bricks to construct the altar. First, the altar is constructed by putting brick over the brick over the brick. That is the idea of chita. Shyena chitan chinvita suvargakamaha. So, one who aspires to reach heaven, he may prepare the altar of the fire altar, in the form of an eagle. Shyena chitam. So, take bricks and put them in a particular form of eagle. And there the altar is prepared, and then fire is put in it, and into the fire oblations are poured. This is how you create. It is a major effort, putting the bricks together, making the altar and putting the fire and pouring oblations is an enormous effort. And with that effort, you create a heaven for you after death. Or maybe by a different kind of ritual, you create wealth for you in this world. Or people want offspring, children, therefore they perform a ritual and they get children. So they created the offspring by performing the ritual. They create, some people want cattle wealth, therefore they perform another ritual, Chitraya yajayata pasukamaha. So he performs a yajna or a ritual called Chitra. That is its name. The name of the ritual, Chitra Yaga, and he performs it, and then this birth or next birth, generally next birth, occasionally this birth also. So he acquires a cattle wealth. So these are various outcomes that are the product of the efforts that you make. In secular terms, you make an effort in the form of business. You establish a business, start a partnership firm or whatever, or start a startup company and put some capital into it, and then banks give loans, and then work day and night, and create a product and put it in the market, and then it gets marketed and it becomes popular. You make a lot of money, and you become a millionaire, and then a billionaire. This is how karma chitan lokan. Therefore, you acquire wealth, you acquire pleasures in this world, and you acquire heaven in the other world. This is all what people accomplish with enormous efforts. And then we notice that whatever is produced by effort, whatever is the result of an effort, it remains necessarily short-lived. Therefore, you make a lot of wealth by making effort, by working hard, and either you are separated from the wealth, death will take away yourself away from the wealth remains, but you are taken away by death. So the person who accumulates wealth, generally he will not enjoy the wealth. Others will enjoy his wealth. Bhunjanti dhurtaha krupanasya vittam. There is a proverb in Telugu, the ants prepare a mound and serpents live in that mound. Ants won't be allowed to live in that house-like thing with mud they prepare that is occupied by the serpents. Similarly, these people, the rich people, they do all kinds of right and wrong things and accumulate a lot of riches, and they will not be able to enjoy the riches, whatever you mean by enjoyment. So the next generation people, they will waste these riches on all kinds of wrong things. This is how it happens. And then heaven, come to heaven. Now this heaven is a short-lived heaven. It will not be there forever. Heaven is like a visit to US on a visitor's visa. That is what heaven is. So you prepare certain regulations and fulfill certain requirements, then the government, the consulate, US consulate will give you a visitor visa. And then you go to US. US is considered heaven from here, seen from this distance. It is taken as heaven. And then Dubai is taken as a Trishanku heaven, that is in between. These are the levels. So you make effort and go to Dubai also. And then how long will you be there? So I met a friend who has gone to Dubai to see the fireworks. And now you travel so many hours in a flight by spending thousands of rupees or even more than that, hundreds of thousands of rupees, and then get hold of a room there and get a vantage position and watch the fireworks. And how long will you be able to watch the fireworks? It is all over in an hour's time. And then you are left high and dry in your room. Next day morning they will ask you to vacate the room, and then you go and wait in the airport. And if the flight is in time, you are lucky. At least you can go home and just relax for the day. Therefore, what all you accomplish in this world or in the other world, by putting in a lot of effort, this is what is called karmachita loka. So, by effort, whatever you accomplish, whatever that you accomplish by effort, so this you have to examine. Because this is Vedanta, in the context of karma, the ritual, they don't have that inner space or leisure to examine the karma and its outcome. They don't have that space because they are very busy in doing the karma. They don't have the space. Whereas in Vedanta, we step back from all these rituals and we examine. And then see that every single outcome, loka, put in, created by effort, karmachita, is short-lived. And it makes you ecstatic for a while and then leaves you high and dry. That is how the karmachita loka operates. Therefore, if you perform a big yajna, jyotishtoma, a big ritual, it is somayaga, and then after death, one has to wait till death. Then after death, he supposedly goes to heaven. And there he will enjoy a few things. What will he enjoy in heaven? Some good food he will enjoy. What could be the enjoyment? Some good food. How long you can enjoy good food? How long? And then some dance, drama kind of thing you can enjoy. How long will you be able to enjoy that? And some wonderful perfumes will be there. And how long will you enjoy perfume even? Suppose a wonderful park is there. There is a beautiful park in heaven, and the name of the park is Nandanam. Our friends know the name also. Name of the park. And so by the time you reach heaven, then suddenly outside the city of heaven, the capital city of heaven, there is a park, and there is a board Nandanam. And now this park is owned by the chief of the heavens. Indra is the owner of that park. But you are allowed to stroll inside. You go inside and see all the plants in bloom, so many flowers. And because there are flowers, there will be bees, honey bees humming around. And because there are plentiful trees, there will be birds chirping and making very beautiful noises. And so you are welcome to go and move around for a while. and then it is over. All these pleasures, they are short-lived. There are so many issues associated with these pleasures. The pleasure itself is short-lived, number one. Even when the pleasure continues for a certain length of time, it becomes part of our monotonic existence. So it becomes part of the monotony. And so you will not be able to enjoy it anymore. Like suppose you go to Dubai, it will be very enjoyable from the distance. And then you purchase the ticket and land in Dubai. It is most attractive, most modern city. All comforts are available. And so you can really enjoy many good things. But then within 2 or 3 days, all of the Dubai, with all its glory, becomes part of our monotonous life. It becomes monotonous life, it is. Life, it cannot sustain any excitement or any enjoyment for any length of time. And so the enjoyment loses its value and it becomes part of the monotony, and therefore you are fed up with it. So this is how any accomplishment that is put in place by effort has these very serious limitations. This is the conclusion you make. This is the second conclusion. I have said number 1, whatever I said. Now this is number 2. Okay? Now number 3. These are pariksha I am making. Pariksha lokan karmachitan. Number 3. By the time I do the pariksha, you should be able to say along with me, yes, Swamiji, we got Nirveda. You should be able to say, that is the purpose of this pariksha. Suppose after all the pariksha you still say, we love karmas, then my pariksha is a waste. So that's why I am warning you in the beginning itself. So the third point, there is a thing that is called apraptasya praptihi. So a thing which is not with you, you gain it by effort. That is how you get it. Like you don't have a diamond with you, and therefore you work hard, do some part-time job, and make extra money, and spend it, and get the diamond ring. This is called apraptasya praptihi. The thing which you don't have, you gain by effort, you gain it. Like in the religious context, you don't have heaven, you have only the earth. The life on earth is very painful. There is no joy in it. The real joy is there only in heaven, but heaven is not with me now. When I reach the heaven, I will become a partner in that joy. Therefore, the joy of heaven is something that I have not yet gained, and I want to gain it. Apraptasya praptihi. And the way to get it, the way to gain it is karma. Therefore, that which I don't have, which I want to have, I gain it by karma. This is how karma operates. Apraptasya praptihi. Then in contrast to this, there is another situation which is called praptasya praptihi. Means I already have it, but I don't know about it. Now I discover it. When I discover it, I gain it as it were. Like it is called kanthachami karanyaya. Like a lady, she has a very valuable diamond necklace, and she misplaced this necklace. And therefore, she was desperate to get it because it is very valuable. And so she is searching all around the palace for her necklace. Where did I misplace it? Where did I place it? Placing is misplacing, you know. Misplacing is not some other placing. It is placing only. But you forget. That happens. And so she is desperately searching, frantically searching with a lot of anxiety for that necklace. Then some wise man advised her, you keep your hand in the neck. Then she protested, why should I keep my hand in the neck? Why don't you see my problem? My problem is I lost my diamond necklace and I am searching for it. I misplaced it and I am searching for it. So I have to look, I have to pull out the drawer and see whether it is there inside. If it is not there, close it and pull out another drawer and say, I have to do that. Or pull out the bed and see whether I have kept underneath the bed. I have to do such things. What is this? Put your hand in the neck. Why should I put my hand in the neck? No, you do it. If you have any confidence in what I say, if you believe in my wisdom, then put your hand in your neck. She thought, okay, let it be. The old man is saying something. Let us see what will happen. What do I lose by putting my hand in the neck? So he says, stop searching. That is a condition. Stop searching and put your hand in the neck. So then she first protested. People protest, They protest a lot. In fact, some people, you get out from here, sir, don't disturb. We are busy searching for our necklace. Why you come and disturb us putting your hand in the neck? What do you mean by that? Please to move away. Don't come in the way. Like that they will send away. People are like that. But anyway, that lady, in her wisdom, she decided to see what this man is saying. And that person said, you put your hand in the neck, that is all you have to do. But what about the search? Will you search on my behalf? Forget about the search. You stop the search, you need not search. By search, you will not get what you are searching for. Then I won't get by search. No, you won't get. Then how will I get? Will I get at all? Yeah, you are likely to get. How? You put your hand in the neck. By putting my hand in the neck, how will I get the last necklace? You try. You put your hand in the neck. You are following the story? Very significant story it is. Very important. Our Vedantic stories are like that only. We have a very thriller stories here, Anyway, to make the long story short, she decided this man seems to be a wise guy, maybe making some sense. At this point of time, he doesn't seem to be making sense, but let me try. What do I lose by trying? She puts her hand in the neck. And then she says, lo behold, I found my necklace. She found her necklace. It is there in the neck. This is called Kantachami Kara Nyaya. Now she found what she is looking for. How did she find what she is looking for? She is looking for the necklace, which is a genuine thing, nothing wrong in it, because the necklace is valuable and she wants it, nothing wrong in it. But how did she get it? She got it now. How? By effort? No. There is no effort involved there. There it is a praptasya praptihi. It is already there with her. She has already gained it, but failed to recognize what she already has. And the wise man pointed out to her, you already have what you are looking for. And she examined that statement. She looked in herself, she looked in her neck, and found that the necklace which she is so badly looking for is already with her. This is praptasya praptihi. Now, you want heaven, right? You want heaven in the other life. Why don't you get heaven now itself? Why should you wait for the other life? Why not have the kingdom of heaven here itself? Now, you want joy, happiness, and therefore you are performing the ritual. Why should you perform the ritual? You suppose you already have the happiness that you are seeking, then why should you perform a ritual for happiness? You see, I have an anecdote I hope you appreciate. You see, a person is doing a penance. He is doing some worship, elaborate worship. For what? Because the purpose of his worship is Shani is looking at Shukra in a very crooked way, and now Shani should look at Shukra with love. That is the purpose of his worship. Now, why should you worship that kind of a worship? What does it matter whether Shani looks at Shukra crooked way or direct way? Why should you worship for that? What could be the reason for that? The reason is, when Shani looks at Shukra in a good way, I will be benefited. That is his conclusion. How is this conclusion? There was a devotee. He was performing worships, great worship to Shiva, Ishvara. And Ishvara appeared before him. Dear son, I am very much pleased with your penance or with your austerities. So what is the boon that you want from me? Then he said, you please bless. My mother's brother should have lot of hair on his ears. You see, they have hair here, some hair will be there, and a lot of it to whom? To his mother's brother. It is the maternal uncle. Then Bhagavan was very surprised. Bhagavan asked, what? What for? Why should he never had any such boon, you know. What kind of a boon it is after such a long austerities and all that? Is this the boon? I don't mind to grant the boon, but what is the meaning of that boon? Because this man says, whosoever has a mother's brother with a lot of hair on his ears will get lot of wealth. Where from he got it? He got it from Shakuna Shastra. There is a Shastra called Shakuna Shastra, and therefore if your mother's brother has a lot of hair on his ears, it must be somewhat a lot very pronounced hair, then you are lucky, you will get all wealth. Therefore he worships God for that. People, I tell you, they are crazy. And so this is the kind of worship people make. You want to go to heaven after death, therefore you are doing a ritual. Suppose, what will you do in heaven? Happy. Suppose the happiness that you are aspiring for after death in the heaven is already with you. Suppose. Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay, tell me the ritual by which I can get that happiness. Array, it is already with you. You won't get it by ritual. You get by ritual only what you don't have. Apraptasya praptihi. Whatever is already with you, you don't get by ritual. You remember my story that a lady misplaced her necklace? So praptasya praptihi. There is a thing like that. Oh my goodness, is there something like that? Yes. Then why am I worshipping God for a planet to look at another planet the right way? Or my maternal uncle should have more hair on his ears? What kind of worship it is? Yeah, it is up to you. Nirvedamayat. Nirvedam is disenchantment. You get disenchantment. About what? About the worldly pleasures, about the pleasures and gains or accomplishments that you get by a lot of effort leading to accomplishment. All that process, karma phala, that entire process, I get disenchanted. I am not interested in all that. I am not interested in karma phala anymore. No, by doing this karma you will get heaven. I am not interested. By doing this karma you will get wealth. I am not interested. I don't have any interest. Because you have to go through so much effort and finally you get something which is very short-lived and becomes a part of the monotony of life, and it leaves me high and dry, and once it is over I have to restart the entire karma kanda again. No, I am not interested in all that. So there is a disenchantment for the effort and its outcome, karma and phala. So you see, human beings are obsessed. If you examine your interior, I suggest there is an obsession in your interior. The obsession is the effort and the outcome. That is the obsession. You are interested in the outcome, therefore you want to put in the effort. you are now hung up with the effort because you are interested in the outcome. This is called hetu phala aveshaha. Hetu phala aveshaha. Avesha is a kind of, people are possessed by this cycle. So the effort, the outcome. I want the outcome. So put in the effort, get the outcome. And having got the outcome, lose interest in it soon. And then imagine another outcome. And therefore look for the effort that will bring that outcome and start putting in that effort. This is the way people are caught in the hetu phala obsession, effort outcome obsession. That is how people are caught. That's why look at the people. They are busy putting in effort. They are busy. They are so busy, they cannot sit quiet for a while. Because if I sit quiet for a while, then in that time, I am losing time. Time is money. And so, in that time, I can put in more effort. Thereby, the outcome will be better. That is the kind of obsession that people have. I came across a businessman. He tells me, he pays rent for his business premises. He has to pay rent. And he pays rent for 24 hours. But the premises runs only for 12 hours. He is losing money on that. He is losing money. Why are you not making profit? Of course I am making profit 20%, but if I run it 24 hours, because I am already paying rent for 24 hours, suppose I run the business for the entire 24 hours, I need not pay any extra rent, but the turnover will increase and the profits will go up. Then I said, you will miss your sleep. In sleep, what we get by sleeping? By doing work, we get something. By sleeping, we don't get anything. This is the obsession. Hetu phala avesha. Yavad hetu phala aveshaha. Tavad hetu phalodayaha. And therefore, the more obsessed you are with the efforts and their outcomes, the more efforts and outcomes will be appearing before you. They will be demanding your attention, and you will be caught more in even more efforts and outcomes. This is the pariksha. I have done briefly what is called pariksha. Pariksha means examination. I have examined the human existence. So effort and outcome, effort and outcome. I desire the outcome. Why? Because I don't have it. So people are always focused on what they do not have. Aprapta. They are focused on what they do not have. Therefore they have to get it. Therefore they have to put in the effort. In that anxiety to get what they don't have, they become blind, literally blind to what they already have. Now, here is the formula. To know what you already have, you have to give up this anxiety to gain what you do not have, this effort to gain what you do not have, all that you have to give up. The anxiety to gain, the desire to gain what you do not have, thereby focused on what you do not have, thereby putting an effort to get what you do not have, all that obsession with the hetu-phala thing, you should become free from. You should get rid of all that from your system, from the interior. That means now in your interior, the obsession for the hetu and phala, the obsession for the effort and its outcome is gone. Outcome is what you enjoy. That is the sense of enjoyership. Effort is what you do. That is the sense of doership. So, in getting rid of the desire to get something you don't have, in giving up the effort that is inspired by the desire, and so when you give up all that, now you get a leisure, an inner leisure, in which You can examine, you can discover what you already have. In discovering what you already have, this is called praptasya praptihi. Your human existence will be fulfilled. This is the examination. So, when you examine the effort and its outcome, as described by me as point-wise 1, 2, 3, etc., you get a disenchantment. Tato nirvedamayat. Who? Brahmanaha. This kind of disenchantment is possible only to such an individual whose mind is rooted in sattva guna. That is a precondition. Suppose you are a very rajasic person. Rajasic means very ambitious, competitive, very covetous person, a go-getter. For him, this discussion, it will go above his head. He will not be able to relish what is being said by the Shastra. He will be attracted by the things of the world, and he wants to keep his desires, and he wants to fulfill his desires, and whatever effort is required, he is willing to put in all that effort, and there are people to guide him in the world, and there are rituals waiting for him to be performed so that his desires will be fulfilled. So that is a different path. That is the path of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, both put together. Whereas this is the path of Sattva, where you are not ambitious, you are not competitive, you are not envious of others, you are quiet, and you want to know whether you are the doer or not. You are not sure whether you should enjoy this, enjoy that. Should I enjoy all those things? What is that enjoyment? What is the meaning of all that? So you examine all these things and become very dispassionate, and thereby this effort-outcome cycle, karma-phala cycle, you become disenchanted with. Tato nirvedamayat brahmanaha. Then the Shruti presents a rule, a law before us. The law is nastyakritah kritena. You see, freedom, akritaha mokshaha, freedom, liberation. From what? From the bondage of samsara, from the cycle of pleasure and pain. Freedom from the cycle of effort and outcome. It is a cycle. And you want freedom from all that. You want that inner leisure. You want that quietude, peace. You don't want a celebratorial happiness or a pleasure. You want the happiness of inner quietude. That is a separate kind of happiness. The celebratorial happiness is a lot of sensorial excitement, it is. Whereas the real happiness is when you are quiet within, that inner quietude. That is the happiness which is in the form of peace and quietude. That is a happiness. And you want that. That is the Brahmana. And so for him the law is that inner quietude, the happiness of the self, is prapta, is already with you. So anyway, to put it in simple terms, the message is, in your anxiety to get this and that, things that you do not have, you have overlooked or you have become blind to what you already have. Now give up all those things, the desire for all those things. Leave them alone. Say goodbye to all that and look within and find out what you have. Find out what you have. So, under the freedom, the liberation, the freedom, the quietude, the happiness of the inner quietude, which is always with you, it is not the result of an effort. Nastyakritah kritena. It is a law. It is like Einstein's law, the scientific laws are there, laws of the physics and mathematics. Such a law it is. Very powerful law. Nasti akritaha kritena. What you want is not so much heaven as that freedom. You want freedom. And because freedom is love, freedom is bliss. That is what you want. Okay, if that is what I want, how will I get it? Which karma will get it for me? Or which upasana will get it for me? These are the karma and upasaka people. They argue that there must be some karma or a composite of karmas, a bundle of some karmas, which put together will give me this freedom. Tell me what are those karmas? No. The freedom, that inner quietude, is not the result of karma. In fact, karma is counterproductive to that. Karma works in the opposite direction. Therefore, not karma. The ritual karma or the worldly karma, whatever karma it is. You already have it, therefore you get it by looking at yourself, by knowing yourself. This is called knowledge. So freedom or liberation is not an outcome of effort, because it is already with you. You only have to discover it. That is how we conclude. That is the pariksha. Okay? Are you okay with that? Then how to discover? How to discover it? You have to go, you have to know it, Here knowing is the discovery. Already it is there, covered by ignorance. Remove the cover of the ignorance. You got what you wanted, you got what all you wanted. Therefore, how to go about it? Jnanam. To eliminate the ajnana. So how to gain that knowledge of the self? So tadvijnanartham saha brahmanaha, that sattvic person should approach a teacher. Gurumeva abhigachet. So he should go to a teacher. So going to the teacher doesn't mean just presenting yourself physically before a teacher and living in the physical presence of the teacher. That is not the idea of going to a teacher. It is not the physical presence. You see, you should go to a teacher who will present the wisdom that he has acquired in his lifetime before you. And you should expose yourself to the light of knowledge which is shown by the teacher. That is how you should go. You see, generally, there are a few pitfalls in this. People, what they do, instead of focusing on the light of knowledge that they have to gain from the teacher, you be selfish in the right way. So, you have approached the teacher for what? To gain the light of knowledge. So, therefore, seek it. You have gone there for that purpose. Why should you worry about other things? But what people do is, they start worshipping the teacher. The physical body of the teacher they worship. There is a Zen master's saying, so as long as you worship the pointing finger. You see, this guy wanted to see the moon. And then he went to a person who knows the moon and asked him, I want to see the moon. That gentleman, he is a wise person, he pointed out, look up, that is the moon. Now this guy, the Shishya, instead of looking up at the moon, he worships, he purchases a garland from the market and puts around the finger. And then brings chandan and other things and puts to the finger, decorates the finger. And then do Ashtottara puja. And if you don't have Ashtottara readily available, you make one. You pull up a few things and put together and make one. Suppose the person, the finger is with the person, Suppose the person lives in, say, Vijayawada. So, Vijayawada Nivasaya Namaha. So, that becomes a name. Andhra Pradesh Nivasaya Namaha. Andhra Pradesh Bhubhaga Suryaya Namaha. Andhra Pradesh Jana Punya Prabhavaya Namaha. So, like that, some nama. People are really crazy. They don't even approach things properly. You worship the pointing finger. You miss the moon. You are forgetting that. There is no moon in the sight. So don't do any such thing. Just tad vijnanartham gurumeva abhigachet. You go to the teacher for a single purpose. You must have that a singular purpose, that focus Focus. You see, about focus there is a rule. This rule comes from Nyaya. The rule is you cannot focus on two things at the same time. Like if you focus on the moon, you cannot focus on the finger. And if you focus on the finger, you miss the moon altogether. Because you can focus only on one thing. Because you know in physics also the focus is a single point is called focus. Not an area. Area is not called focus. Focus is a point. Therefore you should focus on the vijnana, the wisdom by which you discover what you already are. That is the discovery. Really, you should get into your system. You have to discover what you already are. No, I know something about myself. No, you are wrong. You don't know anything about yourself. You have taken yourself to be a body and a mind, thereby constricting yourself into the volume of a body and the duration of a mind. In space and time, you have bound yourself. And that is not what you are. The body and the mind suggest that you are such and such. And therefore the self that is manufactured by the body-mind, you take yourself to be that self. And that is all the way wrong. You have grossly underestimated your depth as well as your width. Your width includes the entire universe, and your depth includes the total divinity. That is your Swarupa, and you have totally missed your Swarupa. You have to know your Swarupa. That is what you have to do. You need not put in any effort to gain something which you don't have. That movement is over for me. Now I have to know my real self, and therefore you approach a wise man who will show you what the real self is. Tattvavidananda so gurumeva abhigachet, abhigachet, abhimukhyena gachet means you are totally focused on the Guru for the sake of the wisdom that he would likely to share with you, the light that he is going to show to you. For that purpose you go towards the Guru, and everything else is kept aside. That is abhigachet. So samitpanihi. In those days the Guru was a family person. The Upanishadic Gurus are family people, mostly. They are not sannyasis. The word Gurukulam, in its strict connotation, applies to Grihasthas only. It doesn't so much apply to sannyasis. So, because Kulam means a group of people. The Guru, his wife and his children, and maybe a few more relatives and his neighbors, and it is all a group of people, and you go there. They absorb you into their community. You become part of that community, and you live with them. They give you food and shelter. That is the Gurukulam. And there you study. That is how you have to approach the Guru. Gurumeva bhigachet samitpanehi. So in those days, the Guru, everything is, the food is cooked with wooden fire. And the Gurus, being family people, they have daily fire oblations to perform. That is a Nitya Karma. Agnihotram is a Nitya Karma. For the Grihasthas, it is taken like that. And Yavat Jivam Agnihotram Juhoti. Therefore, for the Agnihotra, he needs twigs, dry twigs, which he has to collect from the outside the village. He cannot break the trees or cut the trees. He has to go to the trees where the dry branches are there in the forest. So he has to pull out those dry branches and convert it into twigs and use them. And so instead of the old man doing all that, the young people, they go with a bunch of twigs and offer it to him. That is the idea. In modern terms, you go with a fruit. Generally they do that. They replace the twigs with fruit. Because in modern time there is no Agnihotra and all that. So a fruit will be useful. Or I do not recommend flower, because flower is violence. You have to pluck a flower from a tree, and that kind of a thing is unnecessary. You don't want to do that. Therefore, you take a fruit, or even more, even a fruit is not required. You register. You don't go and sit before the Guru. He will not be able to assist you. You register. And so once you register in the course, so they give you a place to stay and they make arrangement for food and all that. You leave the Guru alone. Don't run after him. Swamiji, my room is not there. So what Swamiji will do? So then Swamiji has to catch hold of them. It will nothing wrong in it, but the best thing is you register. And you work out those details nicely and you present yourself for the teaching at the right time. So that way you have to do. Gurumeva abhigachet samitpanihi. That samitpanihi I have explained. Then Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. The Guru, you see, people, they fail. You see, there is a law. The law is Murphy's law, I think. The Murphy's law is when a thing can go wrong, it will go wrong. There is a law, Swami TV's law. I have a parody of Murphy's law. When there is a possibility of making a mistake, the Vedanta students will make that mistake. That is the law. So, you see, what is it that you want from Guru? Suppose Guru is moving around in a Rolls-Royce car and you choose him as Guru because he seems to be very high profile Swami. Is that the way to look at the Guru? Suppose another, so you go to a Guru who moves in Rolls-Royce car and flies in private jets and you go to him. You get nothing out of him. And you suppose some other person is there, simple, no profile, very unassuming person. You go to him and he teaches you. So whom should you approach? So this looking at the profile of the Guru, people make that mistake. There is a reason for that also. You know, they go to the Guru not so much for the knowledge of the self. What they are seeking is not so much the knowledge of the self as they are seeking some security. That is what they do. Suppose the Guru himself is begging for food. Suppose you go and become a Shishya, then you also beg for yourself and also sometimes you have to beg for him also. On the other hand, a Guru who moves around in Rolls-Royce cars and flies in private jets, you can manage to become a Shishya to him. And somehow he blesses you, okay, from now on you are my Shishya, and gives you a badge or some such thing. You are very safe in this world. Your life becomes a smooth flow. So, that insecurity, how am I going to live? What will happen to me? I should live happily the rest of my life. That kind of desire is there, and will I be able to remain happy in my future? That insecurity. People are very insecure, and therefore, to gain some security, they go to a Guru. That is almost universal. In an Indian classical God-man situation, people go to the God-man, they call him Guru. They don't learn anything. They just give the name Guru, and they are seeking security from the God-man. You should not make such a mistake. You should go to a Guru who is wise and who is willing to share his wisdom with you. That is the Guru. And Brahmanishtham. Suppose there are many Gurus, even in Hrishikesh, there are Gurus. And many people come from all over the world to those Gurus. The Gurus are, some of them are Yoganishthas, means Hatha Yoganishthas. Their expertise is in Hatha Yoga. Suppose you go to that Guru, he will tell you how to do Sirshasan for half an hour. That is all you can learn from him. There are experts like that. So that is what you want, or you want self-knowledge. Suppose you want self-knowledge and go to a Sirshasan specialist, a Hatha Yoga specialist. What will you get out of it? Nothing. And then mostly in India, the popular Gurus are Upasakas. They are not Jnana people. They are Upasakas. So they will be having a tantra in their life. Upasaka means an elaborate method of physical as well as mental worship. That is the tantra. He is caught in that tantra. So much of that tantra is there. Tantra is bondage because it frightens them. They cannot hold on to it because it is so elaborate and so demanding. It is all in your head. They cannot be connected like that. Therefore, so why I said all this, I don't know. So some kind of a stray flow of thoughts. Therefore, you are imagining all these things. You are just imagining. There is no such thing. And then once one person starts imagining, another people catch up with it, and therefore the imagining goes on and on and on and on.
Swamiji, you were saying that simple things, obvious things.
So obvious. We missed. This is the simple thing. They are not side by side. You cannot make a constellation out of them because they are not side by side. The truth is simple. You make it complex. So look up.
This depends on the eyesight. The dome is formed entirely by the eyesight.
Eyesight. The dome is created by the eyesight and mind. The mind and eyesight together create a trick. They play a trick upon you. And according to the trick, there is a dome and there are stars side by side and you can connect them.
The light hits that dome. That's where you see it.
Yeah.
That dome which is formed with the eyesight, that's where the light hits.
Yeah. Therefore, there is a tremendous physics associated with it. And you want to imagine a few shapes here and there. That only proves your attachment to Nama Rupa. Nothing else it proves. So you have to think about it.
But Swamiji, if the mind doesn't know, the eyes don't see. If we don't know the lion shape or some other shape,
You don't see it, yeah.
we will not see it.
That's why it is a projection all the way. Now leave the topic. That is a side topic which I dragged into discussion. Now come back to this topic. Therefore, when there is a tendency to promote oneself, what self that you promote? The self which is false, which is shadow-like and which is unreal. So you don't want to promote that kind of a self. And if there is a tendency, you have to watch it and allow it to be dropped. You get rid of this tendency. How to get rid of this tendency? Be aware of it, it will go away. Just be aware of it, it will go away. Don't try to push it away, it won't go away. Whatever you want to push away from the mind, it will get more strong, get entrenched strongly. It is like advising, don't think about a monkey. And now he will be thinking about monkey all day. Otherwise he doesn't mind, he doesn't even remember a monkey. We remember a monkey when we see the other day monkeys have come. Then only I remembered monkey. Suppose you advise me, some guru advises, don't think about a monkey. I'll be thinking of monkeys whole day, day after day. In the USA, would you give arghya to wild rivers like the Colorado River? Why not? Apaha, a river, you give arghya. What is Colorado? That is a name given by people. It is not Colorado River, it is a river. You see, in Buddhist, Buddha told one time, you say there is a river flowing on this bank of the river, that bank of the river, and a bridge connecting the two banks. That is how you say. All of it is in your head. None is real. So, river is an idea that you have in the head. What you have is water. And water flows from higher ground to the lower ground. That is the nature of the fluid. And then what you call bank is Prithvi. Nothing more. What you call bridge is a few pieces of wood put together. There is nothing, they bridge nothing. There is no bridge or any such thing. It is all in your head. Could you understand that point? So think about it. Therefore, it is all Colorado, you see, there was a discussion of giving sannyasa. The person is in America and may not be able to come due to some health reason or whatever, yet sannyasa has to be given. So can it be given on the bank of Delaware? I said, yes, why not? Delaware river is as sacred as Ganga. I don't see any difference. Suppose if I have to give sannyasa like I do on the bank of Ganga, can I give it to a person on the river bank of Delaware? Why not? Yes. We have a village called Delaware Water Gap. We go there and give sannyas. Not a problem at all. Only thing is, I may have to understand, I may want to give to the person. Generally, I don't like to give sannyasa just like that. For that reason, I may not go forward, but Delaware is not an issue at all. And then you give argyam and all that. Only thing is, taking bath is not easy, because here also it is not easy. It is very cold, and the current is very swift and cold. And same thing applies in the case of Delaware. It is not that swift, but cold it is. At least when I go there, it is very cold. Therefore, we have to do something about it, like we do here in Ganga. You can do that. You see, Ganga is in your mind. You see, in India, when they take bath from the bucket, generally they don't use shower. They use this mug and bucket. Shower is a Western method. In Indian method is mug and bucket. So while taking the bath with a mug, we say a mantra. Mantra is verse, a shloka, which says the water in the bucket is Ganga water, like that. Therefore, when the bucket water could be Ganga water, why not Delaware water? Explain Bhagavat Pada. Bhagavat is both words. Pada is a pratyaya, Padap is the pratyaya, P is the dvarna, it will go away, and Pada remains. And Bhagavat is the one who is revered. Reverence, the one who deserves a lot of reverence. He is called Bhagavan, Bhagavat Pada. Therefore, Bhagavat is the Pratipadika, Bhagavan is Prathama Ekavachanam. So Pada, that adds. So Atishayena Pujaniyaha. Bhagavat Padaha means the one who is very highly revered. That is the meaning of the word Bhagavat Pada. We use it for Shankara. Bhagavan, the word is used in the sense of revered. But what happened is, in modern times, Bhagavan is used like a god. God is a person, and this person is God, like that. It is wrong all the way. In the first place, God is not a person, and this person is not God, unless you say every Atma is God. Therefore, the word Bhagavan got misused quite often, and therefore its meaning has changed. But otherwise, if you go to Sanskrit literature, Bhagavan is used in the sense of revered, the revered one. So I have taken some excess time, please don't mind. And so we will continue with these questions tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.